Welcome to Second Take, the show that takes a look at the issues behind the news. The City of Johannesburg is making strides with its inner city revitalisation project. Marleny Arnoldi joins me to discuss the city's plans. Hi Marleny.
Hi Chanel.
Why is an inner city revitalisation project necessary?
Well, since the gold rush 130 years ago that happened in Johannesburg, the whole city was planned very hastily and buildings basically went up overnight without proper planning and inclusion of all groups of people. Because under the apartheid regime, poor people were pushed out to the edge and they were left to fend for themselves, and the city started deteriorating from the inside out. So now it's necessary to recover that improper planning, and inner city buildings are often hijacked and run by these syndicates that exploit the residents inside, and they charge them expensive amounts of rent, and it's crime-ridden. And so and this all happened when the gold rush started quieting down and the city was basically left to fend for itself. But now those hijacked buildings are not maintained and the residents cannot grow economically because they have to pay ridiculous amounts of rent, and they have no choice to move out because the city is the only place where the jobs are. And poor people in Johannesburg had to work their way back in, only to enter into buildings and streets that are crime-ridden and have been left neglected. And this while there's a 300,000 backlog of housing and 3,000 people move into Johannesburg every week. That's already 1.8 million households strong. So the revitalization project will breathe new life into the buildings and turning it into affordable housing with rent between 800 and 1,000 rand for the citizens, and student accommodation and opportunities for small businesses, which will in turn employ more people, which is what the city ultimately aims to do, is to create employment as well. The project is necessary to cater to the rapid urbanization and population growth rates while cleaning out the blight of the city.
What will the project entail?
So phase one of the revitalization project entailed the release of 13 properties to tender to the private sector, and those bids are now being evaluated. Phase two, that was launched this week, entailed the release of 71 properties out to tender for the private sector, and it is expected that it will attract about 2.5 billion rand of investment from the private sector. There's a total of 500 properties that will ultimately be released for development, with between 50 and 100 released on a yearly basis. The areas that these properties will be in include Jeppiestown, Marshalltown, Newtown, Braamfontein, Yeoville. So it's all the inner city districts of Johannesburg.
What is the current status of the project?
So Mayor Herman Mashaba of Johannesburg has declared the city open for business, and he's hosted briefing sessions where developers are informed of the tender requirements and what the city expects from the developments, because obviously your BEE score is important, getting the cash to do the developments are important, and to cater for the right amount of rent, because you can't, it's a struggle to develop a building that aims to ask 800 to 1,000 rand a month, because, you know, it's all about profit for the private sector. So the mayor requires that at least 20 to 30% of the developed building in the end caters for the affordable part of it. The bids for phase two will close on November 30, which the city will then evaluate and award the projects before the end of 2019, while the phase three properties are being made ready to go out to tender. The city has published a phase two prospectus that showcases the targeted properties for development, and in December 2016, Mashaba said that he wants to turn Joburg into a construction site, and it's starting to realize now.
Thank you. That's the Second Take show for this week. Thank you for watching, and join us again next time for more news analysis.